Good afternoon, world. It's a family day at home cooking. Weather outside here, Siargao Island, is terrible. Look at those big waves. We've had massive tide surges all day. So these waters have been coming up all the way and hitting the steps most of the day. Super windy too, so Poppy hasn't even been out on the beach. So in today's video, I'm going to talk a little bit about being a vegan family here in the Philippines, because when we did our Q&A recently, people were asking some questions about like, what do we eat and could we do a full day food video. So we are going to be showing some stuff that we've been doing here and talking about how we survive as a family who only eats vegetables and doesn't eat any animal products in a country like the Philippines where it's very meat heavy. So the obvious answer is we have to do a lot about cooking at home, and Sash has actually found a recipe for some vegan donuts.
They're gonna be pumpkin toast donuts.
Yes, calabasa donuts, aren't they?
Yeah, I'm trying to recreate the donuts that we get at Collecvivo Cafe.
Yes.
But at home. I've never made these before, so we're just
It
trying
looks
it
a bit
out.
brownish now
Yeah, because of the. Why do you think that is?
because of the chocolate powder.
It's not chocolate powder, is it? What powder did we put in?
Cinnamon.
It's
Cinnamon powder.
That's it. Yes.
That sounds tasty. Calabasa and cinnamon.
Yeah.
Good mix.
I know. Hopefully. We have to
Hey, concentrate what you're doing,
concentrate.
Story. You're just looking backwards and flicking flour
What are
everywhere.
you looking at? Right, that's it. That's all stirred. Now we need to put the wet ingredients in here.
So I actually ordered this specially online so that we could make our own donuts at home. It's easy enough to get things like oil on the island and coconut sugar.
Flour.
Yeah, flour.
It's easy to find olive oil because it comes in one of the shops.
Yes, that's right. We also
Yeah.
get our soy milk on the islands, don't we? Because
Another one.
there's quite a lot of shops that sell soy milk in Siargao. So while Sacha and Story are making progress on that, being vegan means that we don't eat any animal products whatsoever. So we don't have any milk or dairy or eggs or meat, fish, anything like that. So in the Philippines, most of the food here is containing at least one of those things. When we go to a Filipino restaurant, sometimes even the chop suey, which is just like meant to be mixed vegetables, has like oyster sauce in it, or sometimes they'll just actually put bits of chicken in it and stuff. So a lot of the time we are cooking at home, but when we do go to restaurants, at least here on Siargao, culturally there seems to be quite a good understanding of what vegan is now, because a lot of Filipinos have lived abroad and they are either from a big city or they have family that live abroad, and they've been exposed to the different types of ways that people eat around the world and the ways that people are moving on from meat and animal products. So it's pretty good in that sense. Here we can find quite a lot of options in restaurants that are vegan friendly, even if the restaurant itself isn't fully vegan. There is a restaurant on this island called Cosmic Siargao, which is an actual Filipino restaurant that's fully vegan. And it's amazing how they've done it. The only problem is that it is very much like fake meat products that have been made to resemble Filipino food. So if you've been vegan for a long time, it's not that desirable anymore, and it can taste a little bit too meaty to us. But it's amazing that they've able to emulate things like intestines and on a stick and crispy pork skins and all kinds of like Filipino foods that are famous here. They've made them vegan, so it can be done, and it is being done here in the Philippines. And the newer generations, the younger people, especially in Luzon and in Davao as well, they're really moving forward with the idea and doing some amazing things with Filipino foods. Davao in particular was amazing for us because it wasn't just Filipino food that they specialised in. They had some pretty amazing vegan cafes there, and we actually loved it so much that we want to go back to Davao just to eat the food. I mean, for a city that's in Mindanao, which isn't one of the most popular Philippines islands, I was really surprised at the types of vegan options we could find there. So in this day and age when there's a lot of vegan families out there and they're considering perhaps leaving their country and living abroad, I think when you look online and you start thinking about a culture as a whole in regards to their food, you can't really judge what you're going to experience until you get there, because of course everywhere in the world eats vegetables. So as long as you can cook yourself and you know a little bit about food, you can pretty much do anything. but you can be finding it quite restrictive when you travel and you go to restaurants. Some Filipinos know loads about this vegan movement, and some people know nothing at all. So it really does depend where you choose to live and what you have access to. My opinion of Siargao is that even though there are quite a few vegan options here, I wouldn't say it's the most vegan friendly place, because it doesn't have a very good logistical supply line. You can't get a load of high quality greens here because it's an island location that doesn't receive good vegetables very often. We get the same boring stock of veg pretty much every single month. Things like basil and coriander, and even just fresh lettuce or some kind of like spinach or something, it's really hard to come by. Even Filipino native vegetables like bok choy, so hard to get these days, like in a decent amount. You can probably find some here and there, but these days if you find fresh dark greens available, somebody will snap them up straight away. So there's a real gap in the market for a good hydroponic garden here on this island, if it was possible to do that. In terms of nutrition and making sure that we get a balanced diet, there are some stuff that we have to order online. So having a app or a website like Lazada or Shopee has been basically essential for us. So anything that we can't get enough of, we make sure we order in bulk. So we have like nutritional yeast, kilos of it. We get loads of chia seeds, we get cashew nuts, all the kinds of nuts. And we just order them in so that we've got this kind of dry stock of extra nutritious seeds and pulses that you might not always be getting here on the island. Other things like supplementation is possible here in the Philippines, but it can get quite expensive. Luckily, they have actually got a cafe in the town, Beach Baby Cafe, which sells a really good child's supplement, which is vegan. So we just buy it from there, and they always seem to have a stock of it. But if they don't have a stock of it, we can order that online too. And even Poppy, we don't really talk about this much, but Poppy's biscuits, her main biscuits that we buy for her, are actually vegan. So they've got a company in the city that sells this really high quality kind of kibble, and it was just accidentally vegan, and it was one of the best quality kibbles we could get for our dog. So in terms of the ingredients that was in it, a lot of these meat-based ones, there's actually not that much meat in them. They were mostly like ash and bits of old rust, and I did some research and we found this brand called Dog and Joy, which is the brand that Poppy has been eating since she was 6 months old. And look at her now, she's a year and a half. She's a big, strong doggy, and she mostly eats vegan kibble. So yeah, and also we top up Poppy's vegan biscuits with nutritional yeast and flaxseed and a greens supplement called Dog Greens, which came from the USA, and we put that on her food, and she has chia seeds. And so Poppy's a super dog really, and she behaves like one too. Looks like you're getting to the end stages.
Yeah, it's quite a sticky dough, look. It's really sticky. I didn't think it was going to be like that.
So does it rise, or do you just have to stick it straight in like that?
I don't know.
I guess
No, don't rise it. They just go straight in now.
Yeah, there's no yeast in this, right?
No.
So this
baking
one,
soda and baking powder.
yeah.
Story's eating the dough now, but I tasted it, but they don't taste like the Colic Bibo ones.
Did you put any sugar in it?
It has syrup in it.
Is it sweet enough?
Syrup. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Actually, if you think about it, the ones we get at Colic Bibo are covered in sugar afterwards.
And also you're supposed to put coconut sugar and cinnamon on the top of them when they get out. So.
Oh, right, okay, so let's just try it as is then, recipe standard, and see how it goes.
Alright, they only take 15 minutes, it says. While these are cooking, we're also going to make some peanut butter air fried cookies, because
Again.
I tried this yesterday and they were really good. So
I turned into Zori.
What's Story?
Zombie Story.
Yeah? What makes you Zombie Story?
Because they're so good.
Just gobbled them down.
anyway,
This is another good thing about vegan baking, because there's no eggs or nothing gross in the ingredients. You can just eat the ingredients like that.
hi donuts.
Goodbye, donuts. Get cooked as you want.
Right, 15 minutes. No idea how they're going to turn out. First time making them, but let's see.
One ingredient that you normally find very easy to come by in Asia, which would be amazing for us vegans, is tofu. You get it in Korea, in hordes, you get it in Japan, and even in Thailand they had huge selections of tofu. However, here, unless you're in a big supermarket in the city, we really struggle to find tofu. So there is actually a local tofu that they make here in the Philippines, but it's very rare that you can get it in large quantities. And ever since this island suffered typhoon Odette, we've found it very hard to get more than a kilo of tofu per week on this island. So sometimes when we can't find tofu, we have to go online and buy some other substitutes. So we tried out this stuff called magic meat, which is a dried soy protein that comes from Manila, comes in a bag, and so obviously they can post it anywhere. And you have to rehydrate it yourself with your flavoring of choice, marinade of choice. And to be honest, like if you do it well, it actually tastes exactly like meat. So depending on how you feel about that, it's a really good thing. We don't actually like it that much, but when we can't find any tofu, we're going to try something different, like do something grilled or smoky tasting with a salad, then we would use those kind of things. Even things like vegetable stock is hard to come by, so yeah, we do have to order that online too. And if all else fails, we can always get a nice supply of chickpeas. Ready for a donut reveal?
No, they look too poofy.
Too poofy, eh?
Yeah.
That's the good news. That means that they rose up.
Good.
All right, shall we see them?
Yeah.
Okay.
So lumpy. Look at this one.
They've really risen up considering there's no yeast in that either.
They have. It just had baking soda and baking powder.
Was there any acid in there to make it react?
Vinegar.
Maybe I'll
So-
eat this one. I'll eat that one.
That's
Why
the
that one?
nicest one.
Because this is the nicest one.
There we go.
Whoa, look at that.
Ooh, the
Whoop,
back
whoop.
looks good.
Do we have a hole?
It looks bouncy, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it looks like a massive Cheerio or something.
Cheerio?
Yeah,
What's that?
a cereal
Yeah,
thing,
it
like a
does.
big
Oh yeah,
cereal.
it does. It looks giant though.
So there was another recipe that actually used the air fryer. So then maybe they would get more crispy because these do feel very spongy, like a...
Donut. Donuts are supposed to be
Donuts
spongy.
are supposed to be a little bit crispy, aren't they?
No, they're not.
No?
A donut to me has always been soft.
Yeah, but crispy on the outside.
No, not at all.
Really?
Yeah, you put sugar on it or you put a glaze on it, maybe that would crack, but otherwise
Maybe.
a donut is soft.
All right.
So
Well,
that's good.
I made some. This is coconut sugar and cinnamon, but we don't have any vegan butter or anything to make it stick.
Yes.
So
Actually, vegan butter is one of the hardest things to get in the whole of the Philippines.
I'm just going to do that. It's not going to stick, but you might get some of the flavour.
Just looking out the window. Waves are still almost coming right up to the grass. You know, you can hear the sound. I don't think I'd want to be out at sea today. Whoa. Menacing. So we have to get creative. We decided to use some coconut oil.
To stick this on.
Yes.
So then pick it up upside down into the and swirl it around.
There.
Work?
I look like I'm painting something.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Twiddle it in. That's it. And if you want, you can use the spoon to pour it over. This is the air fried cookies, how they turn out. Really nice and super, super simple. All this is peanut butter, oats, maple syrup, and a little bit of baking powder. So it's a completely eggless, butterless,
Dairy-free.
dairy-free, yeah.
That's what you're
cookie.
looking for.
And they were really, really good. We had them yesterday. I only made 4 because it's a very small batch. A very small batch cookie.
There's a scavenger down there looking for her chance to strike.
Yeah, I'm going to give her some of her own treats though.
As a flavour.
That's really good.
Yeah?
You know what I did?
What?
I put my finger in the hole to carry it and eat it.
Show me. What? What is that trick?
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. So what's the inside look like? Ooh, floofy. It came out well, didn't it?
Floofy.
They turned out much better than I thought actually. They're really fluffy, but I thought they might be a bit stodgy.
To us, donuts are hard to come by if you're vegan, so now that we can make them at home with our little donut ring, I'm really happy about that.
Yeah.
It was a good buy.
I might try the one with yeast next time and cook them in the air fryer to see if you can get that slight crack. These are good though, nice, and the cinnamon on the outside probably really makes them.
So that should give you a little bit of an insight into what we do as a vegan family living here in the Philippines. It's not easy, but to be honest, it's no different anywhere in the world. Like, you always have to find your way when you get there, because not everywhere's going to have everything. It really does depend where you live. If you whack yourself next to a city, normally everything's easier. But as soon as you start going out into remote areas, even in England, you'd struggle a little bit.
Yeah,
but
we've always kind of cooked our own stuff anyway. Like, even here, like if we want bread, we make it most of the time, or you know, rotis or chapatis, we just make them from scratch when we want them.
Yeah.
Rather than getting annoyed that, oh, there's nothing on the island, or we just make them ourselves.
Exactly. So you get used to it and you adapt.
Yeah.
So hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you in the next video.
Bye.